In this video, we're talking about 4 things that you need to make sure that you do to make the right hire. What's up, guys? I'm Brady Nichol, and on my channel I teach people how to save money by getting out of debt and building wealth, and for the entrepreneur, how to grow a successful business. And just like this video, we're teaching you how to make the right hire, how to make that decision to get the right team member for your business, for your company. So step 1, decide who you are looking for. What kind of person fits the role that you need to be filled? And so you need to do a job analysis, and what that is a list of all the description of what that job entails, what qualities the job takes. So you need to ask yourself, what are the responsibilities? What is going to be put on this person's plate every day? And then what education or experience that takes. You know, what do they need to know? What kind of skills do they need to have to work in this job, to make this job work? And you could put things like, what goals will I have for the new team member? And what things do I want them to accomplish in their job? And are there physical requirements that the job will take? You know, if you are an emergency responder, you're going to want to be in best tip-top shape. And somebody that can actually work through the emergencies, and you know, if they have to lift somebody, or if they have to move things out of the way, you know, can they do that? Step 2 is the interview. Now, make sure that you do not hire the first person that you interview just because you like them. I do not care how good their interview was. You need to have several candidates to make sure that you pick the right hire. So do not just pick the first one. That would be a huge mistake. But when you get into the interview, start off with a job description and the history of the business, and you know what the future holds, what it's going to look like 10 years from now, and what you expect. Kind of break the ice with that and let them know what your company's about. You know, make sure that they know the culture of your company and what kind of people they're going to be surrounded with if they are hired. Make sure that you ask the right questions. You know, you don't want your questions to give off a yes or no answer. You want detail-oriented answers. So leave your questions open-ended. And so you can ask questions like, if you could design the perfect job for you, what would it be and why? What kind of supervisor gets the best work out of it? And how would you describe your current supervisor? How do you structure your time? What are 3 things that you like about your current job? What can you do for our company that no one else can? What are your strengths and weaknesses? How far do you think you can go in this company, and why? What do you expect to be doing in 5 years? And what interests you most about this company or this position? So when you ask these questions in a way that are open-ended, they leave plenty of room to talk and get to know the candidate, the applicant, and make sure that you are filled in, make sure that you have plenty of information about them. So you ask all these questions, and then maybe you take the candidate on a tour of your building, or you know, you take them to meet some of your other team members and give them a chance to interact with people in your company. And so this does 2 things. 1, it gives your team members a chance to look at the candidate and give their opinion on what they thought. That goes a long way, because this is the people that they're going to be working with. And it also gives you a chance to see how that person interacts with other people in the company. So you want to make sure that the candidate is very interested in what's going on and asking specific questions about the company and what the specific jobs that people are doing. You know, make sure that there's an interest there, because you want that to find a good quality candidate, and you don't want somebody that doesn't seem to care. And don't let that be a deciding factor, but it goes a long way when the candidate is interested in what's going on. You want to make sure that your candidate will fit inside the business, and make sure that, you know, your culture and your mission statement fits that person. because after all, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. You want to make sure that they are a good fit and you are a good fit for them. And after all of that, give the candidate an opportunity to ask you questions. And look for the ones that are showing initiative by asking questions about the future of the company and what can they do to make sure that the future goal is met, instead of people that are looking to seek what they can get out of the job. So after the interviews is step 3, which is check references. And this is super important. You don't want people to lie to you, because they will on applications. They will lie to your face. And so you want to make sure that there's no fraud, there's nothing going on. And so, you're going to check job references, you're going to check criminal backgrounds, you're going to check credit references. So, with each of these, there's different things that you need to consider. And so you want to check past employment. And, with new policies out there, you're not going to get a whole lot of information about what kind of person they are, how well they worked on, with their company. They can't disclose a lot of that anymore. But what they can do, you can verify past employment just by simply asking if they worked there at this date. And you can get a yes or no answer that way. And if you want to dig deeper, you can by contacting their past supervisor personally. And if they're in a talkative mood, maybe they'll tell you some more details, or maybe some things that'll lead you to the assumption that you need to know. And do education checks to verify degrees and dates of attendance. And here's why. Someone who went to school for online marketing 20 years ago is not relevant today online. Things have changed so much. So you want to make sure that the person's education applies to what's going on in today's society, in today's marketplace. If not, they need to go to school. They need to go back, because things are always changing, always evolving, and you want to be up to date with your skill set and with your education. So lastly, if the role you're looking for has anything to do with money or finances, you may want to consider doing a credit check. And it's not for the credit score. Don't get that wrong. Nobody hires based on your credit score unless they're just scumbags. But what you're looking for is bad behavior in the past, and how well they interact with money. If they're not well behaved with their finances, how can you expect them to be well behaved with yours? And so you need to look into that and check and make sure that they actually can do the job and can handle the money the way that you need them to handle it. Step 4. Go out to eat with your candidate, and if they have a spouse, ask them to come along. And if you have a spouse, ask them to come along. And this is great because it's kind of like the second interview or the last interview, but it's kind of unwritten. If your spouse is there, they can see things that you didn't see. And so they can kind of give their opinions and thoughts that just kind of add into the mix of what, the whole interview was like. And so the other thing is that when their spouse is there, you get to see a glimpse of their home life, what it's kind of like to be with that person. And, if it's crazy, if their spouse is nothing but nuts, you don't want that in your business, because, trust me, they're going to bring baggage to work. If their spouse is crazy at home, they're still going to have that on them when they come through the doors. And you just don't want that. You want people that can focus at the task at hand and get things done. And so don't let any one of these things be a deciding factor, but put them all together to make your next hire, and make sure that you make the right decision when you hire a new team member. So you may have noticed that I call them team members and not employees, because that's what they are. You put together this team and we all work together. And so when you have that mentality, you will go so much farther than boss-employee. Employee defines a negative connotation of not going anywhere. They are the bottom, they stay at the bottom, that's who they are. But a team works together and grows together. So there it is, 4 steps that you need to make sure that you make the right hire when you do. And I hope you guys got something out of this, so let me know by commenting below. Tell me what you thought, and if you like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any content that I put out Mondays and Saturdays. And so that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next video.